Okay. All right. Testing a new setup here today. Deal property discounted deal flow. Um, and so I think it should be working. All right, so if you're seeing this live, make sure you drop me a hashtag live. And if you're seeing this as a replay, make sure you drop me a hashtag replay. And we're gonna jump into it. So, with the market shift, a lot of folks may be quite confused as to what may be going on. I don't pretend to have all the answers, but all I can tell you is there's some fundamentals regarding wholesale real estate deal flow that I want to make sure that we cover here on the channel, and that I hope that it helps you and it serves you for your real estate investing business. And one of the things that I like to say is that real estate investing, you make the money on the buy, you realize it on the exit. So what that means for all of us is the fact that, hey, we all have to get discounted house buying deal flow, right? Doesn't matter if you're going to wholesale it, doesn't matter if you're going to do creative financing on it, if you're going to rehab it. The idea is to actually get discounted deal flow systems set up so that you actually have consistent deal flow. Because if you show me a real estate investor, I'm going to show you somebody typically that struggles with consistent discounted deal flow. And not only discounted deal flow, but ideal property deal flow. And so I'm going to pull up a little screen here where we're going to be able to do a little bit of a whiteboard sharing session. Hopefully this ends up working out. It's my first time going live on YouTube. So hopefully this is valuable for everybody that watches this. Probably not a whole lot of people since I'm just starting, but it's okay. You got to start somewhere, right? Absolutely. You got to start somewhere. So let me see here, and let me make sure that it's working. And at this stage, let me share my screen. So let me know if you're watching this, where you're watching from. Any specific questions you have, just drop it in the comments here, and we'll definitely look at those. And yeah, I mean, a little bit about me. If you don't know me, my name is Joey Aponte. My friends call me Joey. And my entire job here in this channel is to help you get ideal property discounted deal flow. And we do that with inbound lead generation systems, with virtual acquisition agents that can set appointments for you, or even get to the point that they're closing it for you, and automated follow-up sales systems. Okay. That's how we've been able to get over 7 figures of client results. And I'm going to share a bunch of information here with you. Hopefully this helps you and gets you going. So the 3 requirements, let me change this real quick. The 3 requirements, okay, for guaranteed real estate deal flow, right? The 3 requirements. What are those? Well, first, it's going to be ideal property leads coming in inbound. Okay. So that's a mouthful, right? But what does that mean? Okay. What exactly do I mean with guaranteed ideal property lead flow and inbound? Well, it doesn't really matter if you're going to be buying it to wholesaling it, or to rent it out, or to fix and flip. We have to really ask ourselves, what is the most profitable type of property in the right market that brings us the best margin, right? So let's say that maybe you are a high income earner in a corporate job. Perhaps maybe you want to just buy some rental property to help you fast track your retirement, or offset some taxes and accumulate a little bit of wealth and income. You're not trying to make real estate your full-time gig, but you want to actually accumulate property that actually cash flows, right? And actually build some net worth. And so we really have to ask ourselves the details around the home, okay? So essentially the property characteristics, what does that mean, right? Are we looking for houses that are in the 1990s or 1980s, right? What's the ideal year build that we can actually profit from? What are the bedrooms, the bathrooms? What is that property specification, right? And we have to narrow it down, and we got to combine it with the people, with the demographics, okay? The actual demographics, right? Who is the ideal Johnny, Sally that would sell to us? And then we're going to layer that, and we're going to start an offline and online marketing campaign. So how do we do that? We do that with direct mail, and we do that with inbound, PPC, SEO campaigns. Now, where most people fall in the trap is they try to do a lot of stuff at one time, or they do the wrong marketing channel for the resources, or they just don't really identify the right property. Okay, because you can get motivated sellers, but if they are not tied to the ideal property, meaning the ideal property is huge, right? That's what we want. It's an ideal property. If it's not a property that's profitable, right? That's marketable, that essentially you can get us a moolah, then that's just going to fall on deaf ears, and you're not going to be able to actually make this business work. Okay. So we want to make sure that our business has an ideal property lead generation system, right? That's inbound, so that it's working 24/7. A lot of people get frustrated with business, just like any business, because they go the heavy bucket route, the cold calling, the pestering people, spamming people. Not only is that a liability, but it's harder to scale. And, granted, you can start there. And, I know people that have scaled those operations like that, for sure. But typically leads that are able to come in are worth a lot more than leads that you are following up with. The leads that you're chasing, right? So what we don't want to do is we don't want to chase. We definitely do not want to chase in this business, because if you're chasing all the time, then that means that you're not closing. Okay. And what we want to do is we want to attract and essentially be a magnet, right? We want our lead generation to essentially be a magnet that's attracting motivated sellers, and we want to attract the ideal properties into our pipeline. Okay. Let me ask you a quick question. If you were to think about your ideal property that can get you maybe 4 times, 5 times the profit, the margin, the revenue than another property, why wouldn't you market to that type of property? And then you want to create an omnipresence for that property, because you want to make sure that you're attracting the right type of properties. And so the 2 requirements are ideal property characteristics and the demographics around the people that actually own those properties, right? Now, the second piece around this is actually having a virtual acquisition team that is able to set appointments and convert those leads into actual contracts. Why? Because you should not be doing lower pay grade type of jobs. You're better off getting a job somewhere else and letting a virtual assistant qualify these sellers and just setting appointments for you when you're available, or even closing them if they get to that level of skill set. I'll just relax you for a second. So with that said, you want to make sure that you are able to set a virtual acquisition team that allows you to only focus on viable leads, people that actually want to sell and that have been qualified. And there's really only 4 types of seller leads. There's wacko leads, people that not even Jesus can help them, because they want way too much money and they're unrealistic, and they're just not there, right? Like, they're just not there. So do not waste your time on those. Then there's the retail condition type of sellers that you really just list. We're not going to be a fit as investors for everybody. And then the third piece is the uneducated sellers, is the sellers that have motivation, they need repairs, They want to sell. There's a reason why they want to sell. They have a timeline that they want to sell, but perhaps they need a little bit of help comparing a cash offer versus a retail sale, what that looks like. And at the end of the day, they're going to have to make a decision of whether or not they want to invest the money into actually getting that higher gross sales price. But a lot of times they just need help seeing what the trade-off is. Okay. And then the fourth one is kind of the lay down lead, folks that are already priced at a number that you can make sense for you, your investors, your partners, right? And so this is key, because if you can actually train a virtual team to do a lot of the vetting and the acquisition for you, then that returns a whole lot of time for you back. And you can actually focus on growing your marketing, growing the team, and actually growing your system, right? So we discussed first the ideal property inbound lead generation strategy, right? Having that engine, attracting, magnetizing inbound seller leads that actually have the ideal properties coming in. And ideally, you would have some marketing insurance along with that, so you're not wasting dollars. Because the problem is when you are just spending way too much money on marketing, just wasting it, you're not going to go anywhere, right? And it's just you're just spending and wasting ad dollars, and it's anywhere between 90 days to 120 days sales cycle. Then having a structured sales process and a virtual team that can take a lot of work out of your hands. And then third but not least is you want to have a system that actually gets those leads from contact all the way to close, whether you are acquiring for yourself or you're acquiring a wholesale, or you're closing on it to make it a rental or B&B, whatever that is. You want to have a centralized system that makes the automated follow-up sales process in all channels possible. So texting, email, mail, voicemail. A lot of people forget about mail. And so with that said, if you don't have those three pillars in your business, you're just going to see a lot of ups and downs. You're just going to see a lot of ups and downs in your business, because you're just going to have inconsistent deal flow. Okay. And so that's actually what we help our clients do. And I leave a lot of resources in my videos, so make sure you check the descriptions and stuff like that. It's my first time going live on YouTube, so I'm still figuring stuff out. But I hope you like the setup. Got a new lighting setup. And my key message for today is whether the market is up or is down, and we're seeing, it's really localized. The real estate market is really localized. There's some areas where real estate is still plenty hot. People are buying, low days on the market, low absorption rate, meaning there's, very little supply. Properties are going under contract. But at the same time, there's other markets that, are seeing a difference. And whether it's up or it's down, as real estate investors, we make the money on the buy, and we just need to understand what's going on in the current market. And if you are able to get ideal properties coming your way, right, and having motivated sellers reaching out to you with a cash out, offer, wanting a cash out sale, it's a lot easier to transact and profit from it. So let me know in the comments, how was the setup? If you liked it, if you hated it. Just trying to see how this all works out. Appreciate y'all, and I'll see you guys on the next video. God bless. Bye-bye.